We're going to have a little look at some different vaults now that are used in parkour. So the first one we're going to look at is a speed vault. The next one we're going to look at is a thief vault. And then after that, we're going to look at a dash vault. These all progressively move on from each other. So we're going to look at the speed vault first and look at the first progressions we can do for that. We're going to look at how to progress up to doing a full speed vault over the block. The first thing we can do is get the gymnast to stand with one foot in front of the other. Now, the foot that they take off, which is going to be closest to the block, is going to be the same foot that they land on the other side of the block. Now, they're going to put their arm, which is in line with their lead leg, onto the block first. So Mark, put your arm on there. The next thing they're going to do is take their left leg and place it up on top of the block into a side support position. And from there, they're going to step their trailing leg through their arm and their foot on the block and step down onto the other side. So as you can see, Marcus has made a bridge with his arm and his leg, and he's been able to lift his trailing leg through to stand on the other side of the block. Now we've slowed it right down, created that bridge with the arm and the foot, and got that trailing leg to come through. It's time to now get the gymnast to speed this up and do the complete skill. So it's called a speed step. So Mark's going to show, he's going to start with one foot in front of the other facing the block, and he's going to do this at a little bit more speed now. And as you can see, he's able to bring his trailing leg through under his arm and his foot, and it flows quite nicely over the top of the block, landing on the same foot that he took off on the other side. Now the gymnast has completed their speed step. It's time to start getting them to put a little bit more weight on their shoulder and start progressing more towards the full speed vault. So what we're going to ask Mark to do is stand here with one foot in front of the other. One leg's going to be behind and then the other leg's going to be in front. Now the foot that he's going to take off is going to be his right foot. That's the foot that's at the front. The foot that he's going to place on the block is also going to be his right foot. And then the foot that he lands on is also going to be his right foot. So it's the same leg the whole way through on this vault. So if we watch Mark, he's going to demonstrate this. Going to tap, jump over, and land on the same leg. Now it's time to get the gymnast to do the full speed vault. Main things we're looking out for is that they take off on the same leg that they land on the other side. They press down on the vault with their arm, and they continue running forwards into a smooth movement. So now we're going to have a little look at the thief vault. Now this is really similar to the speed vault. The difference is that you bring your arm back at the end so you can press off both arms, kick your legs forwards, and then continue on into the next movement. So the first thing to do is practice the speed step that we were doing in the previous vault. But what we're going to do is bring the leg through the bridge of the hand and the foot, and then bring the back arm round so you can press off both, sit down with your legs together on the end of the block. So Mark's going to demonstrate this for us. He's going to put one hand down, bring his leg through, back arm comes behind, and then he's going to sit down on the block, ready to press away. So very similar to the speed vault, the next prep is where you jump off your leg, put the leg that you've jumped off on the block, and then you're going to come round, bringing that back arm behind you to place on the block so you can push and continue moving forwards. So Mark's going to demonstrate this for us. His hand goes down, jumps up, presses off the block, and sits back with his hands behind him. So on the next stage, we can make the gymnast do the same thing without putting their legs on the block at all, and sitting on the edge of the block with their hands back, ready to press off the block. So Mark's going to put his hand down, jump his legs over, press back, and be ready to push the block away at the end. Now it's time to get the gymnast to do the full thief vault. So if we watch Marcus, what we're going to look out for is he takes off on the same leg as the speed vault. His arm's going to go down, but the difference is he's going to bring his back shoulder round, press off that shoulder, push his hips forwards, and then continue moving forwards into a run. So moving on to the dash vault, this is where you lead with your feet and your hands stay behind your body. So it's just slightly different to the first two because your hands are going to go down last. So So we need to make sure the gymnast is strong enough to put their feet and their body in front of them first and press their body away from the block. So to test that the gymnast is strong enough to get over the block, we're going to ask them to run and jump and stand onto the block with 2 feet. So their legs are going to be strong enough to get up and over, and then they're going to sit down on the block, pressing it away from them and standing up on their feet at the end. So Mark's going to show us this. He's going to run, jump to the block on 2 feet, sit down on his bum, press the block away and stand up onto his feet. The next stage in the dash vault is, instead of putting 2 feet on the block, Mark's going to put 1 foot on the block and then bring his other leg through, just like in the speed step in the previous vaults. So if we watch Mark, he's going to demonstrate this. He's going to jump up with 1 leg, put the other leg through, sit down and push and stand away from the block. So in this stage, Mark is going to show us how he can run, jump, sit on his bum, press the block behind him, and then it's going to help him move forwards after the dash vault. So he's not going to take all the weight on his arms just yet because he's going to be sitting on the soft vault, but this is a good way to get him started, and on the next time we can do the full vault all by himself. So you're going to jump, feet forward, sit down, press and stand away. Now finally, with the dash vault, Mark's going to run, take off 1 leg, bring his leg up in front of him. He's going to put both legs out in front of him in a pike shape, so he's going to be like a sitting down, like a seat drop. His arms are going to go behind him, his fingers are going to face forwards on the block, and he's going to press the block away, pushing forwards onto 1 leg, running out into the next skill. So if we watch Mark, he's going to demonstrate this. Run, feet forwards, push and carry on forwards. So all 3 of these vaults are slightly different. In the speed vault at the start, you're going to be taking off the same leg, pressing away with 1 hand, landing on the same leg. The fifth vault introduces bringing your shoulder round and back and pressing off the block so you can move forwards. And the dash vault, you put your feet in front of you first and press with your arms behind. And stages that we've put out in front of you, then you should be able to teach all of these vaults to your gymnasts.